Hi, I'm Matthew McGarry. This is our Team 5 Project 3 for the NASA Mars Lander. We are from First Year Engineering Lab Section 7, and the team is Matthew McGarry and May Merrifield. For our overview, we will go over introductions, the background for the project, requirements needed for the project, our final design, our manufacturing activities, test results, and conclusion.
For our team, we have Matthew McGarry, construction manager. We have me, May Merrifield, verification and test manager. And our project manager, we will be sharing the position because our project manager had to leave the project. This is the RFP provided by NASA describing our task.
So our phase 1 summary, this was the customer requirements. We had to make sure our Mars lander delivered astronauts to the surface of Mars, and its performance demonstrated during video recorded tests on launch day. We had to carry 2 pilots, which are eggs, one named Beyonce, the other Jay-Z, and our Mars lander was supposed to be reusable, so used for more than one flight. The contractor requirements where the Mars lander demonstrated vehicle shall survive the impact of a 12-foot drop onto tile. It shall protect the 2 eggs, which are the pilots, from damage weighing up to 59 grams each. It shall be redeployable at least once. It shall have an exit for the pilots. It shall take only 1 minute after the first landing to redeploy. The material shall fall within a $15 budget. It shall only be built with the allotted time, which was 30 minutes, and it shall deliver the astronauts to the surface of Mars. So for our final design, we chose a to-go plate, which was made out of paper. And inside the to-go plate, we had cotton balls and 2 capsules made out of paper that was also filled with cotton balls that held each pilot. The to-go box was then closed with rubber bands, which the parachute was attached to on the top. This is our top view, front view, and side view with details. During the construction process, we decided last minute that the cardboard and paper were unnecessary for the vehicle, and all other materials were used extensively. This was our entire budget and materials purchased. Again, we did not use the cardboard or copy paper, which costed us a total of $8. But we, however, did use the grocery bags, rubber bands, cotton balls, and the Panda Express plate box, which was made out of paper. This was a picture of all our materials. Again, paper and cardboard were not used. And might I add that the rubber bands were used to seal the vehicle and attach the parachute to the vehicle. The cotton balls were used as a filler or buffer to buff out the impact of landing. Grocery bags were for parachute, and the paper boxes made up the outer shell of the vehicle. Our construction plan originally was to take the cardboard, which was 2 feet by 2 feet, and cut it into a plus sign and folded the sides to form a rectangular prism of 1 foot in height, 1 foot in length, and half a foot in width. The second step was to lightly crumple or lightly pack 30 sheets of copy paper into the box that we formed out of cardboard. And we would cut the small meal portion sections of the paper boxes to form the pods around each egg filled with 15 cotton balls each, both sealed with 2 rubber bands each. We ended up not We ended up using the small meal Porsche sections as pods, but we can only fill with 4 cotton balls each with each egg. Our step 4 that we plan to do was place the pods in middle of the copy paper and cut all 4 plastic grocery bag handles in the middle and layer all 4 bags. We would then heavily tape each handle section to each corner of the cardboard box. However, this is not how our construction plan worked out, and we decided to simplify the design by not using the cardboard at all, and instead using the Panda Express box, which we used to cut out the 2 pods as a box, using the large portion and putting the lid over it. Instead of using tape for the parachute, for the sake of time, we sealed the parachute to the box with the rubber bands as well to make sure we can open and close during the redeploying time. The copy paper was not used as there was enough cotton balls that the paper didn't end up having much of a use, and we used solely cotton balls as a buffer/filler. These changes were brought upon by the time limit of our operation, which was 30 minutes, forcing us to consider how efficient our build would be in order to build the design in time for launch. The changes were also affected by the fact that some of the material we bought ended up being redundant or not being as effective as we thought. Sadly, due to rush, there was no photos taken of the vehicle before the test run.
So here is DD250, which showcases the test program and the results. So the test day was on November 20th, 2020, 2024, and the test location was the atrium of Building A of the FAMU FSU College of Engineering, and we were Team 5. So our final measurements for our vehicle was about 23 centimeters in length, 28 centimeters in width, and a height of 46 centimeters, which would includes the parachute. Um, we the recording time that it took to load the pilots was about a minute, and uh, once we uh, once we deployed the aircraft, it was the same measurements essentially that were recorded, but unfortunately, so the vehicle didn't wasn't damaged in any significant way. But the issue is that the pilots were damaged. Both Jay-Z and Rihanna, the pilots, the eggs cracked, and therefore the pilots died. So we did not end up doing a second drop because once a pilot dies, there is no more tests because the aircraft has been determined as being unsafe.
I was the test manager, and our timer and videographer were May, and our pilot recovery lead was our former project manager, Orion Beckler.
So here we have a video of the first of our test result. See if it loads.
They're good. No, they're good. No.
So that was
As you
the
can see, our
picture
vehicle
of
was not damaged.
our first egg drop. It's kind of difficult to see, but I think this one uh, was our box, and it fell flat, receiving full impact. The parachute did not catch much air resistance, and therefore it was mostly the box that took the brunt of the damage, full force. And when we checked, our pilots were found to have cracked.
It's loading.
And therefore, we don't have a video for a second test because um, we never did a second test because the pilots did not survive the first test.
The PowerPoint is loading. It's not working right now.
Um, as you can see, this is footage of the recovery. So this is our opened vehicle, and as you can see, the Beyonce pilot was cracked, and the Jay-Z pilot was split open. So therefore, the pilots were deemed to have not have survived the test one, or at the very least, received significant enough injuries that it would not make sense to do a second test as the vehicle is determined to be unsafe.
So our conclusions, comments, and takeaways. We accomplished a design that included building two pods for the pilots packed with safety material, which was the cotton balls, for each pod. And these both pods were then packed into a larger box with a parachute. This design was an adjustment from the original, which included building a box out of cardboard and crumpling paper in it. Instead, we cut out a to-go box to create the two pods and used the rest of the box to hold both pods. This box, as well as the parachute, was secured with rubber bands. The test resulted in failure. Both of the pilots perished, and the issues with the design was that the material used was not a good enough shock absorber to withstand the issues with the design was that the material used was not a good enough shock absorber to withstand the full frontal impact the craft received as a result of the parachute not providing enough air resistance, as well as the surface area of the box having nothing to prevent what was a full impact that cracked both of the eggs. If the design were to be remade, it would be done with a shock absorbent material like styrofoam, and the parachute would either be omitted or the craft would be made smaller and in an aerodynamic way so as it let the parachute catch the wind more efficiently or effectively. That is the end of our slides. Thank you. Have a nice day.